Can somebody say awkward and entirely predictable? GM's Cruise laying off 900 employees, or 24% of its workforce. It is inevitable in business. There will be occasions when mass layoffs are necessary, although 24%, this is more than a mass layoff. This is a quarter of the workforce. A very big deal. Some key points here. The layoffs, which mostly hit commercial operations and related corporate functions, comes one day after the robotaxi subsidiary dismissed 9 key leaders. The moves are a fallout from the company's response to the October 2nd incident in which a pedestrian was dragged 20 feet by a Cruise self-driving car after being hit by another vehicle. Since the incident, the company has suspended all trips on public roads and halted production of a new robotaxi, among other moves. Now, just to be clear, as far as I'm aware, the suspension of services by Cruise was not voluntary. They fucked around by lying to and misleading people investigating the incident, intentionally failing to disclose the fact that their vehicle drove 20 feet with a pedestrian underneath it. They got caught red-handed for lying to and misleading, and as a result, they found out, as I mentioned at the time that this was made public, something rotten at the core of this company. Cruise had 3,800 employees before the layoffs, which also follows a round of contractor layoffs at Cruise last month. In a statement, a Cruise spokesperson said, "We shared the difficult news that we are reducing our workforce, primarily in commercial operations and related corporate functions. These changes reflect our decision to focus on more deliberate commercialization plans with safety as our North Star." Now, I mean, bro, why the fuck wasn't this the most important thing in the first place? You're talking about putting multi-thousand kilogram, multi-thousand pound, multi-ton death machines on roads, and it's only now that you're reprioritizing things and safety will be your North Star? Are you serious? Again, something rotten at this company. Skipping ahead a little bit, GM, who led, Matter and owned Cruise, added, quote, "GM supports the difficult employment decisions made by Cruise as it reflects their more deliberate path forward with safety as the North Star." Again, oh my God. "We are confident in the team and committed to supporting Cruise as they set the company up for long-term success with a focus on trust, accountability, and transparency." Talk about some corporate wankery. A barrage of safety concerns and incidents have plagued Cruise, majority owned by GM, since it received approval in August for round-the-clock robotaxi service in San Francisco. Since the October accident, Cruise's robotaxi fleet has been grounded, pending the results of independent safety probes. Its leadership has been gutted, production of a new robotaxi has been halted, hundreds of vehicles have been recalled, and local and federal government officials have launched their own investigations, among other concerns. In October, the California Department of Motor Vehicles suspended Cruise's deployment and testing permits for its autonomous vehicles, alongside a statement that said, quote, "When there is an unreasonable risk to public safety, the DMV can immediately suspend or revoke permits." I'm sure if you're a regular viewer, you will have heard me say trillions of times, I'm not even exaggerating, that what Cruise, Waymo and other companies are doing is a glorified party trick, with their supposedly autonomous vehicles being nothing short of death machines on wheels. Now, providing nothing changes in their environment, which they've already mapped in high definition, providing everything is controlled, there's no surprises. They can pull off what appears to be a fairly compelling trick, appearing to be driving autonomously and therefore they must be intelligent. Quite a trick. But as soon as something occurs that's unexpected, an edge case, they literally become death machines on wheels, as this Cruise incident clearly highlights. I've also taken great pains to distinguish what Tesla is doing in their approach to autonomy compared to every other company on the planet. Tesla is creating real-world intelligence, a generalized solution that in theory, in the future, you can pick up and drop a Tesla anywhere on Earth and it will figure out what to do by interpreting what it is seeing, perceiving, planning and acting. This is an entirely different approach to the extremely brittle means by which companies like Cruise and Waymo are appearing to be ahead of Tesla in autonomy, according to the so-called experts, who honestly are all suffering from small brain syndrome. Speaking of small brain syndrome, you guys remember Guidehouse Insights, right? Who happened to sell a $3,950 report, the Autonomy leaderboard, who, as of their most recent post on the website, claim that their top 10 vendors, as in top 10 as far as autonomous progress goes, are Mobileye, Waymo, Baidu, Cruise, Motional, NVIDIA, Aurora, WeRide, Zoox, Gatik. Does anyone notice a conspicuous absence of Tesla? Obviously a coincidence, because it's not like the people behind this company, their team, are full of morons. Now, no offense to these people, but clearly, whoever's making the decisions around this autonomous leaderboard, perhaps these principal anal cysts, just simply don't know what they're talking about. For example, Sam here, the very first principal anal cyst listed, wonder if his background can be informative. Prior to joining Guidehouse Insights, Sam worked as an automotive journalist, and worked in product and technology communications at Ford and General Motors. How interesting. Now, you guys know that I regard most journalists extremely highly, so I'm sure that Sam's expert opinion on technology is quite sound, and, of course, having previously been involved in propaganda for Ford and General Motors, I'm sure as well has not influenced any of his current decision making. Now, that being said, the most recently available Guidehouse Insights report from back in 2021, look, I'm not fucking paying $4,000 for a steaming pile of shit to see what it looks like today, looked like this. The leaders in terms of autonomy: Waymo, NVIDIA, Argo AI, Baidu. Contenders: Cruise, Zoox, Mobileye, Motional, Aurora, Neuro, Yandex, AutoX. Challengers: Gatik, May Mobility, and the sole follower, Tesla. Curious. I happened to discover this on Reddit. Somebody's made an interesting graphic. This was the 2019 Autonomy leaderboard. Right in first place, tied essentially, Cruise and Waymo, with third place in the leaders category, Ford autonomous vehicles. But hang on a minute. Old mate Sam here, principal anal cyst, automotive journalist who worked in product and technology communications, aka propaganda at Ford and General Motors. Why does that ring a bell? Ford and General Motors. Curiously, listed as the leaders back in 2019. Obviously a coincidence. No bias here, it's just a coincidence. Notice, by the way, the cluster of legacy automotive manufacturers who, for whatever reason, are listed as contenders: Volkswagen Group, Daimler Bosch, what? Renault, Nissan, what? BMW, what? Hyundai, what? Volvo, what? Toyota, what? Hello, what? I'm just kidding. Obviously, this is a very legitimate list, no biases, and I'm sure it was an accident that the company Apple appeared here, because obviously in 2019, and still today as I record this in 2023, Apple, there is no autonomous... what? It's weird. Why would you put Apple on a list where they don't even have fucking technology? How confusing. Now watch Tesla in red. Dead last, but only just dead last here. Last on execution and last on strategy, but not too far off Apple and Voyage Auto. Fast forward to 2020. Tesla has regressed. Now far and away, the loser, trailing everyone apparently in execution and strategy. I do notice a lot of names have disappeared from this list, including Apple. Weird. Now, I still notice that Waymo in first place, Cruise, GM Cruise in, it's called second-ish place, roughly tied with Ford, depending on whether we're weighting strategy or execution, and Baidu, the leaders. Okay, Volkswagen Group, contenders, Toyota contenders, Daimler Bosch contenders, BMW, now a challenger. Volvo making an appearance, unless they were there in 2019 and I missed it, and Tesla, dead f***ing last. How weird. 2021, Tesla now a follower in strategy and execution, separated by light years from the challengers who are on the cusp of being contenders. Let's check out the leaders now. We've got Waymo. They basically haven't moved. Cruise has now become a contender. And is it just me? Where did Ford go after all? They were leaders moments ago. What's happening here with the leaders? I mean, how weird. Just to see what's happened. This is where Tesla started in 2019. A challenger, moving even further behind the so-called competition the following year, and even further behind the following year. So what happened to Ford? What happened to Apple? Who clearly at some point were leaders or challengers, and now don't even exist. More importantly, what's most recently happened to one of the previous leaders, Cruise, who are now a contender? And again, I don't know what's happened in 2022 or 23 with these reports. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, you should never outsource your thinking to so-called experts, even if they're charging nearly $4,000 for their supposed expert opinion. It can be useful to know what these supposed experts think, but you should do your own thinking and not rely upon their expert opinions. This is very embarrassing for Guidehouse Insights. At this rate, they're probably going to need to start paying people $4,000 to download their piles of excrement. I've rarely seen something so embarrassing as these supposed autonomy leaderboards. The problem is there are people out there who actually rely upon this. There are very smart people, at least book smart people, perhaps some of them even managing money for others, who go, oh, automotive industry expert, communications from Ford and GM. This guy must know what he's talking about. Oh, their report says that Tesla's dead last. That seems to suggest that not only do they not have anything that's technologically different and or superior, but they're really far behind. Super embarrassing. So I have a prediction, keeping in mind that I'm not an expert. I don't know what I'm talking about, although I do have a track record that clearly dumps on these idiots. Here's my prediction. Many of these companies, the likes of Waymo, Cruise, will see some very small short-term success deploying robo-taxis in extremely limited geographical regions, pre-mapping in HD, using expensive sensors, LiDAR, no problems, creating the appearance of being ahead of Tesla to the people who don't understand the technological differences between what these companies are doing. But a few years from now, when Tesla starts widely deploying their robotaxi fleet, with over-the-air software updates region after region, out of almost nowhere, seemingly nowhere, it's going to become very evident which company had the winning strategy. That it's not extremely obvious to most intelligent people today that Tesla is the only company with a scalable solution for autonomy, the only company developing a generalized autonomous software, and the only company with an unassailable data lead. That it's not extremely obvious that Tesla's already won this race and it's now just a matter of watching it play out. Indicates one of two things. Either people haven't actually thought about this and or they just simply don't understand the moving parts. They don't understand the difference, or they haven't even attempted to understand the difference. They've just decided to rely upon expert opinions and outsource their thinking, which is never wise. Just remember, folks, expert is a pejorative term. And in the particular case of Guidehouse Insights, who acquired Navigant Research, who were previously publishing this supposed leaderboard, I have rarely seen something as wrong, as idiotic as the autonomy leaderboard. The audacity to suggest that Tesla's strategy and technology is trailing literally every other company on their list and has been for years. It's difficult not to attribute this to malice, but of course, one should never attribute to malice that which can be explained by brain damage. So it's obviously the latter. Now, the reason that I'm underscoring the importance of thinking for yourself, especially when it comes to this autonomous opportunity, is because the opportunity that autonomy will unlock is a $10-trillion opportunity. This is not small. In fact, this is one of the largest ever opportunities to unlock in the public markets. That's not hyperbole. How many other $10-trillion opportunities can you think of right now? Exactly. This is the one thing that you want to dedicate the hours, the hundreds, the thousands potentially of hours to truly understanding and getting a handle on. It doesn't mean you'll draw the same conclusions as I do, but to fuck this up, to get this wrong, or to not even take the time to think about this, to learn about autonomy, AI, vision, perception, planning, action, neural networks, data, to not understand this, to miss this opportunity, is probably going to be the single biggest regret of investors for at least the next decade or two. And as for the clowns at Guidehouse Insights, misleading investors who prefer to outsource their thinking, this is going to be an all-time example of reputational destruction, well earned and absolutely deserved. It's not that they've been a little off. Tesla dead last every year on this report. Every year, Tesla dead last in strategy. Enough said. Think for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. I implore you. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, That includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 shit, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.